Hey, Candlelight, there's this pointy human on our porch trying to tell us like they need our help or something. Do you know them?
Is Candlelight a nickname for Bigby, or?
Yeah, let's go with that.
I had a feeling.
Why though? I'm a Draxi.
You have a lot of you have fire spells and magic and things, and I'm like,
I actually
Moth?
don't have a single fire spell.
well, you're sparkly and shiny, and I like lights because I'm moth related.
Your mob? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a moth. Did you
I
change your
both
picture?
love it and hate it.
Yeah, I did change to Melanixy.
Yeah, but you're still an aloe.
Yes,
Aloe vera?
actually, technically, I am cactus and also that single moth that pollinates the desert cactuses.
Hmm?
Fuck is that called?
So,
A moth? Also, while people had a little bit of a think, if there's any questions you have about Atari, because I know, as Tinder said, you haven't had the chance to read over things, feel free to ask now.
Tell me everything because I had no chance to read anything.
Short summary, Otari was founded like 500 odd years ago by a adventurer group named after one of her fallen companions after they stopped the evil sorceress Belcora, whose the Gauntlet Keep, specifically the focus of this adventure, was her sort of evil lair. Woo. They killed her, their friend died, they founded Otari in their name. It's a small logging town that basically, exists for the most part, and that's kind of it. Except, like, I think it was like 200 odd years ago, they had a problem with kobolds where people actually got, like, basically abandoned the settlement and kobolds took over. Some of the ruins of which are still visible today, aka the ruins of the first day alpaca, where basically the kobolds' first strike was, they, like, opened up the ground underneath it and it kind of just fell in. And to this day, people are still discovering kobold tunnels underneath the town, though most of them have been filled in because, people don't exactly want kobold tunnels underneath their house.
Why not? Kobolds are lovely.
Structural integrity.
Just live in the caves with them.
I mean,
I've recommended it to people. The acoustics of
Yeah,
those
but you're-
tunnels is nice.
Yeah, but you're tiny. They're like massive tunnels for you. They're so
It's
nice.
shorter. It's not that hard.
Debatably. But that's about it. And of course, the reason most of you are here for this adventure is Rin Civixy, I don't know how to say her surname, has called for you, either from near, such as the people who live right fucking next to her, or from afar, for Rosa and Tinder's case, as she's been noticing strange and ominous energies emanating from the keep at night.
So what do you mean by ominous energies? Just a vibe you're getting?
That's the vibe.
Just a vibe.
Bad vibes, rotten vibes. But namely, the idea for this session is, well, Rose will be arriving, and Rin has asked each and every one of you to come to the dock at night, for tonight is actually the night before the vernal equinox, and there's a small party going on at the docks, and she thinks, well, why not bash two heads with one stone?
Absolutely. I mean,
can
not that
recommend
I
that
need
is
an
usually
excuse
quite
to
a
go on
good tactic.
party.
Yes, but that also begs the question, because in an effort to introduce each of us to all of these new characters, we'll go around one by one. Well,
Oh dear God.
mostly one by one. After all,
I'm
we
back in
have...
college having icebreakers.
Yay! But more, we're going to have a look at our our characters, basically in the morning of when they wake up. Does anyone want to go first, or do I roll a 1d4? I'll roll a 1d4.
Candlelight. Hey,
Okay.
there's a human. She's asking for you.
she can ask for me in a bit.
Okay.
Busy
Are
right
you-
now, poking at things.
She seemed rather insistent, and she's magical. She says colleague.
One sec.
Give me a. I'm sorry. What was it? Ren.
Ren,
Ren. Got it.
did you not get my letter?
So really have a mailbox? I should probably make one, shouldn't I?
Please.
Or Corgo, did you eat it? You can't. I don't know. We'll find out.
Look,
I'll go check on her. Okay, and I'm gonna go back and
Yeah, you have something. Yes, I hear noises inside. You should go deal with those.
Yep, yep.
That would be very ironic if that was your phone.
It was my phone.
Yeah, I know. But it'd be very it would be very fun if it was ever Silene or Big Bees.
So, about these bad vibes, I say as I lean my head out of like a curtain door, trying to like lug something out of the way for Milia.
Well, you two have decided to set up ever so close resident to my house, and I believe, at least I heard, you lost something in the fog fen before, yes?
Didn't necessarily lose, but unable to get back at the moment.
He sank the old house.
Yeah, okay, I did. Not on purpose. I was trying to lug out an artifact you were trying to dig up, but you know, it was a bit big for Nook here. I tried.
And I never asked for that. I in fact said that we should go hire some people to pull it out.
What? It's about being partners, sweetie. Come on.
And there's a
Anyways.
difference.
Anyway, yeah, we have lost a few things. We're a little bit strapped for what we can do to help at the moment. We lost a lot of supplies and that sort of shebang. But you said there were bad vibes going out in the fen somewhere?
Yes, you're aware of well, a bit difficult to see it from here, but there's a lighthouse in the middle of a fog fen.
Oh yeah, that creepy big pillar thing, yeah.
Yes, the creepy big pillar thing. That is indeed the thing that is giving out the ominous vibes.
Gotcha. And you were talking like, dead human shit, I assume?
Yes, pretty close actually.
Gotcha.
As far as I'm aware...
Not an expert in that. Sweetie, what do you know about dead humans?
Which ones?
The ones that move.
I mean, what?
No, yeah, the creepy standy-uppy ones where the face and their skin's melting off.
Do you mean undead things?
Yes.
Oh, those, yeah. Yeah. I know a bit.
She's talking about those and wants a little bit of expertise.
Okay.
All right, yep, tag in. I'll clean up the rest. You tag in. Got it?
Okay, fine, I'm here. Hi. Hello.
Hello, Milia? Milia?
Amelia.
Milia, sorry. As I was discussing with your partner?
Close enough word.
Yes. I did send a letter, though I have now been informed that you don't exactly have a mailbox, so I suppose it was lost somewhere. I was requesting requesting help, essentially. You and your partner, well, as far as I'm aware, or at least Enon has bothered to inform me, you two are probably the most recent adventures. She makes air quotes, because she's not quite sure what the fuck you are. Adventures to explore the fog fen, especially with you having lost some of your property near the Gauntlet Keep.
I know exactly where it is. It's not lost.
He's insistent on getting it back, which we will eventually, but
it's a big hole.
Well, to make things short, as I was discussing with your husband
works.
anything like that, really.
This really would have been much easier if you'd got my letter. I am putting together a group of people to go investigate and make sure that what I'm feeling is, well, real to begin with. As the two have most recently been to the Gauntlet Keep, and I'm aware that you are, well, a mage of no short talent.
Yep.
Oh, she's a big smarty pants.
That is not a flattering way to put it, and you know it.
I think it is. The brightest light. Biggest light bulb? What's that?
I'm a tinkerer, yes. I like staves and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well,
I like magic things.
Yes. Unfortunately, the fen is slightly too far for the guard to go bother and deal with it, but I would like to request your help in discovering what is exactly going on up there. Paid, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to think, having been so close to me, you would have seen my shop. She kind of points. Her shop's weird. It's like her shop's basically a bunch of canvases painted to look like standing stones. Very well done. If you didn't actually get close at some point, you probably wouldn't even realize they weren't stones. But she sells, well, a lot of odds and ends, scrolls, potions, stuff she's found on her adventures in the past.
Well, I've been in and looked around a few times. Got some cool stuff. I like it.
Uh, if you were willing to help me in this, I'd be willing to part with some of my stock. Help you get back on your feet.
Oh, sounds good to me. Also,
Ooh.
you said it was what's it called? Damn it.
Hmm?
That place, the ruin in the Fed.
Yes, Gauntlet Keep.
Yes, that place. I hear there's stuff in there. Old
There,
magic stuff.
well, there's a bit of debate on that. As far as everyone who, or at least the adventurers have come back from there, have said, it's largely filled with pests, but you never know. There's so many ruins in Corphos, who can tell what's underneath them?
I think we
Or-
should establish salvaging rights, anyways. Depending on what we do find. Found the letter, by the way. Nook was sitting on it.
Oh.
He was
Good,
being a
I
good boy.
suppose.
He was keeping it safe for us. It's just he pulled it underground, and I didn't notice.
He's very dutiful.
You
But
sort of you
yes.
hear a deep rumble, and the earth kind of shakes slightly from because he's currently like sat into the ground.
Yeah, Ren's kind of just like, she's kind of tall. I imagine she's like semi-squatted over talking to just these two sprites on this big
Yep.
fucking
It's
stone
a big
base
rock.
thing.
It's not obvious that Nook is anything right now because Nook has kind of buried himself and has buried his face, and so it's like this big stone that sort of juts out of the ground and just has a big villa like on top of it.
A villa that is the size of a large dollhouse.
Yes.
Yeah, sort of a villa. The good news about salvaging rights is most people have given up on the Gauntlet Keep, so you
Convenient.
shouldn't have any troubles in that regard. And I suppose you two do also have a unique advantage.
Then what's that?
Our size,
Well,
probably. If I had
yes.
bet.
To be
It's a
quite
bit rude
frank,
to
you
point
can-
out.
No, it ain't. It's obvious.
Obvious, yes, but it's like pointing out someone's missing arm or something like that. We're trying our best here. Trying to integrate as peacefully and nicely as possible.
Well, I would say a
I-
missing arm is only kind of a detriment, while your size is not necessarily something always so bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
It's
she was
just a
saying it
unique
was an
perspective.
advantage, so yeah.
All right. Sorry, I'm only partially listening. I mean, you did leave a massive. What are you even working on? Never mind. We'll have that conversation later.
Yeah.
Carry on.
You'll see
Well,
eventually.
if I could ask, I'm planning on having a meeting with the others down by the pier tonight.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
I sup-
Actually?
Yes, there are a few others who have answered my looks to the side letters, and they should, well, and otherwise, and they should be there tonight.
Alright then, that works too.
Okay. I shall see you there, and if you have any other questions, you live right next to my house, so don't be a stranger.
We won't. Take
I
care
suppose
now.
that's a very good question. You've been here, you two have been here, what, like a year or so at this point, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
So, like, I suppose the good question, have you went to her shop much
Yeah,
before?
yes.
Would you have?
Absolutely.
A few times at least. Generally the issue is that like Melia goes in and no one's looking down.
Yeah.
And there's not like she doesn't really trigger the bell or anything.
Yeah.
You don't need
I'll
much to open the door.
I'll quickly just like flash over to her thing. Yeah, there's not a bill, so she wouldn't really notice you.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. No, Melia like
It's
walks
like-
in and if you're not looking down, you won't see her.
Yeah, her home's basically like a bunch of canvases, pretty much, and like a big wooden dome above it all. So yeah,
Yeah.
you could pretty freely wander around her, and she probably wouldn't notice you.
Exactly.
Whee. Okay then.
Oh, before you go,
Yes.
you know that we recently lost a majority of our stock, and we're running a little bit of a side gig next to you. Would you like to buy some cantrips?
I wouldn't put myself up that much of a pedestal, but I do have.
You
some
should think
fancy
more
things.
highly of yourself. I think you're wonderful. I mean, it is your shop title.
Thank you. As the two sprites leave a very perplexed and yeah, a perplexed tiefling lady walking a very short distance back to her shop.
Thus is going to be the theme of their characters. They leave everybody confused. No one's quite sure what just happened.
Which leaves our three other people. Rose, Tinder, Dark, do any of you want to dibs, or do I roll a d3?
Deafening silence.
Bring us the dice.
I'm rolling. Let's see. Tinder, you're 1. Rose, you're 2. Dark, you're 3.
God damn it.
Rose!
Alright, I gotta wake up.
Come, we play this game to roll dice, damn it.
That's true. Mrs. Lumine Idalia?
Adalia's, yeah.
Let's get the butchering out of the way. It was probably, considering the distance you've travelled, it's probably been a long time since you received Rin's letter, detailing the ominous feelings she's been feeling from the Gauntlet Keep, and requested your expertise as a healer and a knowledgeable person of magical forces. In fact, it's probably only been today, maybe yesterday, that you've arrived at Otari, which I'm not quite sure what your character is used to before, but Otari is a sort of, as you can kind of see from the image to the right of the map, is a fairly drab-looking place with fairly heavy cloud cover and an almost like persistent light fog, making the town just kind of seem almost a bit ominous. Though you wouldn't be able to tell that from the way the people live here. They seem happy, which is a good thing to say at least. I suppose the first thing to ask is, Lumine, you have, for all intents and purposes, arrived at town. Is there anything in particular you're aware that tonight is the time you'd be meeting Rin at the docks. Is there anything that you'd wish to do before then?
Good question. Honestly, I mean, Lumi would probably walk through the tavern that they're staying at and become more acquainted with people in the town, just because that's kind of her natural, it's kind of her natural demeanor, is to make friends.
Yeah.
But aside from just talking to people, she doesn't have any pressing concerns right now.
Fair enough. Of note, there are there are 3 taverns in Otari. There is, first of all, the Crow's Casks, which is run by a Tengu or Kenku for Pathfinder. Tengu?
Tengu.
It's Senku.
Tengu. A Tengu by the name of Magaloy. There is the Rowdy Rockfish, ran by a very melancholic looking dwarven woman. And there's the more exotic tavern on the river, known as the Crook Snook, a very large building that's suspended over the river on a bridge. Which catches Lumine's fancy? Or which of the 3 catches Lumine's fancy, rather?
Probably won't run by Tengu.
Fair enough. As we managed to have 3 different people staying at 3 different taverns.
First session, haven't even met each other yet, and we've already split the party 3 ways. Good job!
At least
4 ways, because we also have the other 2 at the house.
I
4
thought I was
ways,
doing
new
the right
record.
choice by putting it next to the fucking place, but you know.
I mean,
like-
I imagine there will be opportunities for you all collating later. It's just very funny.
We are literally meeting tonight at a dock.
Yeah.
Also, Lumi likes nature, so the bird-looking guy fits right up her alley.
As you can fairly easily set up a room at the Crow's Cask. Ironically, arriving at the Crow's Cask and organising a room, you do notice there's a little poster saying that Magaloy will also be at the docks tonight. And they're bringing some of their famous exotic drinks.
No, I mean Lumi might actually ask about what drinks they normally make, because she has an interest in that.
Okay, let me try and manifest a bird voice. Okay, I don't know what to do. Anyway, I'll just speak like a regular person.
Just start calling.
Call. Oh, you're interested in my drinks?
Lumi nods.
Well, I have 2 that are fairly popular right now. There's clunks a bottle into the bar, the spiced pumpkin rum, and this one, the sour blackberry ale, if you ever catch your interest.
Oh no, J Mac, you've created pumpkin spice.
Oh yeah. Hey, this is made by the adventure. Blame them for being basic.
Would it be possible I can try a small bit of both?
Sure, you're new in town, yes?
She nods.
As she fishes out, is it he or she? She fishes out 2 shot glasses and fills each with just a mouthful. Well, you should come down to the docks tonight. There's going to be a little party celebrating the equinox. Usually, though, well, usually it's a lot of dancing, but if you're not into that, then just tell people to buzz off.
I think I'll show up. I don't have anything pressing planned.
Good. We get, well, not a lot of travelers, not a little of travelers, but we get enough travelers that it's always interesting to meet someone new. Especially, I guess, does Lemaine have her familiar with them basically kind of visible at most times?
Yeah, May's pretty much just sitting on her shoulder.
Does
chilling
she-
out.
Especially when we're such an odd companion.
Lumi kind of pauses for a second as if she's completely unaware of what Magaloy is talking about before she flash recognition goes upon her face. Oh yeah. So it's kind of pat the Leshy on her shoulder. This is May.
It's nice to meet you, little one.
May will give Magaloy a polite bow. She does not speak anything right now, so she can actually talk to her.
Fair enough. She has no mouth, but she must scream.
Please no.
Well, if you're coming down to the docks tonight, I will look forward to seeing you there. I've got a little bit of a challenge set up, so if you've got a strong stomach, maybe I'll see you take part. If you don't, I'd suggest you steer clear.
Kind of just laughs at that as she takes a sip of the drinks that she was given. I guess they're more of shots. We'll just take the shots respectively.
Shots. Yeah, they're not half bad. Though, you notice, like, a couple of the people in the tavern kind of, like, keep an eye as you taste one, seeing, like, kind of a generally, like, positive reaction, kind of just nod to each other.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the initial shudder and maybe a slight face that most people make when they have strong alcohol, she seems to overall enjoy it.
That's good at least. Well, I imagine taking both. I don't like Lumine's fucking like double fist them at the same time. But I have a feeling like taking spiced pumpkin rum and Venice or blackberry ale one after each other is probably not the best experience.
She waits a little bit to make sure she doesn't just chase it with something else.
We're getting crunk tonight. Fair enough. As Lumine can have a nice little drink and wait for nightfall. Oh, evening fall. A tender, a dark. Well, I suppose this is the question, because your 2 characters do have foreknowledge of each other, and knowing that, well, what's coming up, would you be together or would you be apart?
We can't. Well, our characters. Well, my character knows that Tindus has arrived.
Yeah, mine hasn't
Not yet.
seen Dark's character since he was knee high. So even if they like pass each other on the street, my character most likely would not recognize his.
Fair enough.
Like, I imagine my character's been informed that they're here, but that hasn't actually got the chance to meet them.
Okay, so it's probably more of a waiting until tonight sort of thing to meet each other.
Yeah.
So I need to fix Dark's token. Because unless it's still using your old name.
Yes, I renamed myself in the other one. Obviously.
Curse you renaming like half an hour before session starts.
Look, I told people placeholder names.
No one else has changed names, have they? No one else wants to annoy me.
No, we're good.
No, nobody else has changed names. Then let's see. 1 is Tinder, 2 is Dark. What did I say? Right, 1
God
is
damn
Tinder.
it.
Tinder, you've been
I
staying at the Rowdy Rockfish for the past
have.
week and a bit. I imagine you've been getting acquainted with Otari. Well, as much as there is to be acquainted with here. Which I do have a map for Rowdy Rockfish. Where is it?
Pretty sure my Roll20's dying. Let me just refresh it.
Okay.
It wouldn't let me open my character sheet.
Probably also does not help that has changed the map. Oh well.
But yes, I have been staying at the Rowdy Rockfish. There we go.
Which, for the most part, is a quite quiet inn, despite its name.
Yes, that's part of the reason I decided to stay there.
Is Tinder the character well, what sort of person is Tinder the character? Are they more of a quiet sort of person then? Or
Generally speaking, yeah, he's not against getting into a bit of action or having a discussion, things like that. But he's not really one to go and seek it out himself. But he'll happily engage with others who come to him.
fair enough. And Tinder knows that tonight, well, is going to be the first time seeing. What did you change your name to? Dark Kaiden?
Caden.
And
Though
Kaiden.
I don't know if he's actually aware or not. His character may not be aware.
Oh, that's also fair.
It depends entirely on how much Rin told us in these letters.
Very much Rin would have written, hey, I need competent, as a very, very short, as a summary, hey, I need competent people. There's weird evil shit happening in the swamp, and unfortunately the guard is doing jack shit about it. I know
Yeah.
you are a competent person.
Quote unquote
Some
competent.
expertise can help.
Yeah, so most likely, he might remember that Rin's family lived in this town, but like I say, that was like 10 plus years ago. He has no idea if they're still here, and unless Rin's come and told him, oh yeah, you know, he's been here for a couple of weeks now, Rin might have come and said, oh yeah, I'm gathering these people, he wouldn't really know that
It's
they're
very
going to be
possible-
working together.
It's very possible the catfolk is being blindsided.
Fair enough. Then I suppose it's a bit more of a surprise. Then in which case, is there anything Tinder is doing to prepare for, or preparing for the oncoming challenge of going into a misty, muddy swamp? After your age, unfortunately, swamps are not the favored terrain of champions, typically.
No, not the favourite terrain, no, and I don't think any of the catfolk heritages would have particularly helped in swamps. But he has worked in this area before. He does know some bits about the fogfen and what have you. And he's going to try to prepare for that, but I am kind of short on money. It did cost me to get here. So he's going to go looking for things to help traverse the swamp and help against the many sort of poisonous shit that is generally found in swamps.
Irvin, going back to the Otari map, there's a few locations where I suppose Tinder spends the day window shopping. Namely, the Otari market has all your general needs, rope, ladders. I don't really know what you'd take to a swamp. We'll say rope, I imagine.
My first thought was kind of like a sled to maybe get across unsteady ground easier if you're weighed down.
A
But
good pair of boots.
a good pair of boots, yes. Several pairs, because it's a fucking swamp.
Although it's been a very long time since Tinder has last been here, you would know that like some of the swamp is like 10 feet, 20 feet deep, and there are people who use boats to get around, so that could always potentially be an option if you manage to find one of the places perhaps where a boat is either being abandoned or is just
Yeah,
being kept.
I'll spend at least some of the time asking around, seeing if there's like a steady route that these boats take through the swamps. Like, go to this point, and you'll be able to get picked up there and be taken to that point. You know, a sort of a route map that the boats may take.
Can Tinder give me a diplomacy check as you gather
Oh,
information?
sweet Jesus,
Or I
why?
suppose society could also fit.
I will probably take society. Let me see. Where's my?
You do
There,
live in a society sometimes.
My society is technically better than my diplomacy. Huzzah! 18.
Not bad. Tinder, you spent some of the day, or you spent some of your time carousing with locals, asking about, a couple of who the few chatty people are, and a few of you retired rangers and such who live around town. Actually ends up taking you to Galentine Deliveries, where the owner, it's not Almore, who is it? Aloria. People here have too many similar names. Aloria is actually a retired ranger, and you essentially spend some time there, perhaps maybe like do a little bit of an odd job, and you find out, yes, there is in fact a couple of routes. The swamp further down the coast to the southeast, west opens up into estuaries. So it's entirely possible to, well, it's more possible to take a boat from up the swamp and get out of it faster than it is to go from the ocean into the swamp. So that could always potentially be an option should you find a good pier and a boat inside the swamp to basically get back to town faster. Unfortunately, getting a boat in there is a bit of a pain in the ass.
Well, at least it's an option.
Always worth noting that.
Yep.
Yes, and you do a bit of window shopping. There's, you might even pass by Rin's Wonders because she's also one of the people, a few people in town who sells alchemical concoctions.
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
would be kind of,
like I say, he's been in the town sort of a week or two, and he received a letter from her. So one of the first places he probably went to was go to her and go, "Hey, I'm here. When are we meeting everybody else?" And just get the lowdown of, "Hey, this is happening."
yeah. And you'd be able to know that, yeah, you can buy healing potions, you can buy anti-plagues, anti-toxins, all that jazz from Rin's shop. At least when you end up eventually getting money.
Did you know you had these weird little things living next to your house?
There's a small dollhouse outside your door. What the fuck's that?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize you collected Doll's House.
I don't. At first I thought it was perhaps some kind of art project or maybe a birdhouse. And then I started noticing that, yes, it's occupied by a pair of sprays. They're not really too much of a problem. They largely don't make too much noise. I don't know, they haven't set fire to anything, so I can't complain. There are actually some of the people I've asked to help you. They're, as far as I can tell, considering the guards don't go out into the fog fin too much, they've recently been out near Gauntlet Keep. So they should have a better knowledge of the land, shall we say.
Well, it'll be good to have some competent guides. They just smell a little weird.
Smell?
Yes. You know, that thing when you breathe through your nose and can smell various things?
Yes, but I haven't exactly gotten close enough to give them a sniff.
Oh, neither have I, but I can smell it from here. Tinder actually has the scent ability, so...
Ah! That makes sense as a catfolk.
Yes, it's a cat. He's that catfolk heritage. He does have the scent ability.
I smell like flowers and allergies.
I hate you.
I have to keep that in mind. You got Schnorf powers.
Schnorf. Yeah, I think it's only like 20 foot, but you probably like walked past the doll's house to get to here, and it's like, that smells weird. For a doll's house, that's, yeah. For a doll's house
very
especially.
Because it's got a very lively garden on its brim, and like we keep hedges that we keep like berries and flowers on. Oh, I do at least.
Milia? Oh, God damn it, it's gonna take me so long. Milia's work might also produce a few strange smells.
Mostly ozone smells and other magical smells. I don't know what consists of human smell, but or at least fuzzy human smells.
Fuzzy humans. I am not a fuzzy human.
Then what are you?
Cat
We can get into
folk.
this.
Fuzzy human. Sweetie, are cat folk a thing?
Yes, they are.
Oh. Do they come from actual cats?
No.
Depends who you ask.
What if I ask you?
It's complicated.
It's not really an answer.
I personally do not have the knowledge of it. I wasn't around when we were created. But my goddess teaches that we were raised up from other cats and taught how to survive, essentially.
Ah, understood. So you are from cats. So I won't call you human. Got it. You're cat folk. Okay, that works for me. Would you like to buy a cantrip, by the way? We are a little bit low on stock, personally. You probably would find better things at Rin, but we can offer you a few things, too.
If you could perhaps write me down what you can provide. I'm a little short on money myself at the moment, having just travelled here, but I will definitely keep it in mind for the future.
1 gold, 5 silver for a force field that you could produce at will.
I have 1 gold, 5 silver, and 1 copper.
They can be yours today for that little price.
um,
And made by my own beautiful wife's creation. She's a master handiwork.
I'm sure she is. I will hold off for now. However, I will definitely bear it in mind. It could be something very useful.
Well, you don't seem like the shield-wearing type, so I figured I'd give it a personal offer to you. You know, you bring a big sword in one hand, and you don't have another hand free. You know, you can always quickly swipe this little magical doodad, and a magical force field, like you had a third arm, would carry a shield for you.
And such an offer is very appreciated. But
The offer's open. But,
yes,
you know,
I will definitely bear it in mind.
I got a wonderfully inquisitive wife to help fund, so I just figured I'd ask. Sorry if he was intrusive.
No, it's quite alright.
So Catfolk, can I get a name for you? You're one of the other humans that are going to show up and talk to me at the pier,
Yes,
right?
yes, I've been hired by Rin as well, yes.
Gotcha. Is the little... So there's another a magic-y human as well as a sort of sparky human, I've gathered?
I've not been given full details of who else will be joining us, but I believe it's a couple of other humans, yes.
Tell them to stop by. I'm sure we can make company for them, and if they're actually interested in buying any of our wares, I'll be happy to oblige.
If I see them, I will most definitely let them know.
Wonderful. Pleasure meeting you. I'm looking forward to more time with you at the docks.
You too. Have a good day.
Yep, you too. Bye.
Runs away!
I can only imagine. Cycling and Tinder Civil RP, Lomo.
Speaking
It
of sparky
happens.
humans,
Yeah, speaking of Sparky humans, our last party member, his name, I keep going to call you Tanlin, I know it's wrong, Caden.
in a bit of a... His morning routine has always been a bit of a kind of whirlwind situation of kind of waking up, almost literal sparks perhaps just dancing between bit of his hair. As he kind of wakes up, kind of throws himself out of the bed and immediately looks outside the tavern window to see what the weather's like.
It's pretty much very similar to what usually is, a little bit foggy, kind of overcast, dry though, that's usually good news.
This young man has quite a strong smile on his face right now. He knows what's happening this evening.
Is there any sense of excitement, knowing what's coming to a head?
Very.
Nice.
But he also knows he's got a job to do still this morning. So in this kind of whirlwind effort, his morning kind of consists of him quickly rushing over to his mirror, trying to brush all the ice out of it that's formed overnight, all the little layer of frost that keeps building, and kind of then just shaking his mop of hair around, getting it into the kind of scruffy, messy state that he enjoys. Followed by something that he doesn't normally do every single morning, but he wants to, especially today, is he spent a little bit of time polishing the new armor and the old sword in his room.
Imagine the armor's been multiple weeks of saving to even earn such a thing.
Possibly years, but slowly building up inside. And probably more months, might be more accurate, but
A lot of scrounging.
yeah. Look, did not have a lot of spare funds running around. It's fine. Kind of built up. You've got by the door. There's already like a backpack full of equipment, bedroll atop it, and all the various doodads inside. But already having all the gear they can afford, saved up there. Kind of taking an extra final polish over everything before setting out for their morning duties. To my understanding, there's some kind of festivity going on at the docks. Well, there will be.
Yes, it's the spring Vernox? I can never remember which one. There's the thingy where the moon does the fun thing.
Which, as a result, I imagine that most of Caden's day is going to be running courier for different businesses, helping set preparation up at the dock for everyone.
Yeah, the docks isn't the only place celebrating, but it is certainly the one that is closest to the market. So it's definitely the one getting a lot of his business.
As it stands, a lot of Caden's day is going to then probably be basically helping set up for the festivities. You know, he's good at he's not necessarily the best at the whole planning side of things, but when it comes to just hauling stuff over and setting up the tents, he can do that.
Yeah.
And does not tire out easily. So bring on the barrels.
Yeah, you think it might be your imagination, but you get the feeling that like Kalino's maybe working a little bit harder. But I imagine there's been something set up where it's like, hey, I'm gonna be doing something that's keeping me busy. I need some like time off
Yes,
or
they
something
are.
similar.
Both employers are fully aware that I'm going. You know that Caden. Of what's going on, Caden having basically probably been the first one to actually hear about this from Rin.
Well, I imagine it's maybe more of a case of Rim was organizing it. Maybe
And
you heard of it.
I
And
probably
knowing,
suited, yes.
yeah, knowing what's happened, you're like, I'm going. There's no question about that.
Pretty
Whereas,
much.
like,
That sounds more accurate to what happened. But yeah, the point is, they've known for a while then, because it took several weeks to contact everyone else. They've known for a while this was coming. But
very
yeah,
prepared.
it would not surprise me if over the last couple of days, and today in particular, that they're trying to run the kid to the bone. As it stands, his com's not going to run out. Trust me, he'll be fine.
Yeah, Keaton's pretty sure this is like sort of from a place of care, but also sort of like a. He's maybe Kalino's maybe not entirely happy with the decision for a young man to be going into what is potentially a dangerous place.
Hey, I've been training for this.
That doesn't make him any happier, unfortunately.
Still,
But
regardless,
still, he's letting you go.
regardless, my day though is as it's. My day is pretty much going as you'd expect. In that regard, though, no real planning. It's just work
Unfortunately.
to then show up all shiny this evening.
Yes. Which, unless anyone has anything else they want to kill it quickly, shall we roll around to evening?
I think so.
Let me just go get everyone. So I do have a map ready. Are you taking Nuke?
Yes. I'll be moving him down by the garrison, I guess.
To the ground tremor.
Yeah, well,
It's
basically,
not that big.
he sort of uproots himself and sort of saunters through the street slowly.
And it's a lot faster than used to. Well, actually, do you have the same base speed as like a person?
No, we have base speed 20.
Yeah.
Then yeah, it's probably more worth
I mean,
it.
that's only like 5 foot slower than people.
It's for a Barbie doll to be moving 20 feet and around. That means it's
that's-
already impressive.
Yeah.
We can haul ass.
Don't mock the
But we're
Barbie
very
dolls.
small. We are. I am a novice and rather well built for a sprite, 9 inches and a half.
Yeah. And just so it's not freaky that there's a weird like rock thing moving through the city. Yeah, Milia's on Corgo in front of it.
In fairness, you've been here for like not insignificant amount of time. Most people
I guess
probably are
it's
aware of the weird. They're maybe not like incredibly like used to it, but it's like they know that it's not like some weird earth elemental deciding to come fuck people shit up.
Well, it's a weird earth elemental thing, but it's not fucking people shit up. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm also not sure riding in front of it on a corgi makes it any less weird.
Pet Corgi is a valuable member to the community, and he is loved by all.
I'm sure he is. It's just still weird.
Which
There
okay.
you go.
As evening rolls around, I imagine most of you come staggered in at the same at some point, not all together. Let's just have your
Yep.
tokens for ease. The party by the docks is fairly lively. Even from a distance, you can hear the music played by a performer up on a small stage set up on the pier, and the sound of people playing games. Let's see, who shall arrive first? Left, right. So Rose 1, I suppose Tinder or Big Bean Sideline 2, Tinder 3, and Dark 4. It is
It's the
very
Chaos
fittingly is
team.
the couple. Yes.
I wanted to get here early so I can sort of set up shop and, maybe give a little bit of a sort of, at least a little bit more presentation. My hair is good, right?
You have to like try and sell everything all the time.
I gotta sell ourselves here. I'm not selling our goods. No, that would be improper. I'm selling ourselves here. We have to look good and make sure that we are, integrating well, a good member of the community and all that. I know it's not the most important
Sure.
thing for you in the world, but I do important work here too.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. Yep.
Wow.
I'm going to pretend it's a cultural thing.
I appreciate
Um,
it.
that they don't know that going down the docks and saying you're selling yourself is a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not.
Amelia does.
Yeah. I'm a bit less knowledgeable. Well cultured, but less
It's
knowledgeable.
just one of those things where I can never tell if it's the character not knowing or if it's just you going off on one and not realizing.
A little bit of both.